Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? Hoping everybody is staying safe and healthy. Washing your hands for 20 seconds, wearing your mask, all those things. Being protected, protecting yourself as much as possible. That's all we can do. We can only do so much. We can protect ourselves the best way we can. Um, and I hope that you're staying, keeping social distancing and practicing social distancing and all those things. And then the rest, we just got to give it to God. We got to give the rest to God and pray on it and give the rest to Him. Because after all, our life is in our health and our life is in His hands. So, Michigan is the third, as of right now. Michigan is has the third highest case count in the country. They're the third have the third of all the states. Michigan has the third highest corona cases. Um, corona cases. Um, Death toll is over 1,000, and Detroit is being hit the hardest. Detroit is being hit the hardest. My county, there's 63 cases and one death so far. Hopefully, it doesn't go up too much higher than that. I'm praying that it doesn't go up too much higher, but that's still pretty good. Hopefully, the numbers will stay low, and the numbers don't go up any higher. Um, so, I'm just keeping everybody prayed up, praying for our essential workers, nurses, doctors, people that work in the stores, everybody that works in healthcare. Um, Praying for the staff on my job. I'm praying for all the staff on my job, praying for my family, my spiritual family, the friends in the organization. I'm just praying for everybody. I'm just keeping everybody prayed up, that um, everybody stays safe and healthy. Just covering everybody under that umbrella. I'm just keeping everybody prayed up. I'm just keeping everybody prayed up. I just looked on the news the other day, and well, somebody put have a link on a thing on Facebook. They're losing so many people in New York. They're literally digging mass graves because I guess they're giving the people. That's when I first seen that I panicked. Because I'm like, what do you mean they're not gonna give you the people the opportunity to bury you? But they waited. Apparently, they waited so many days. They waited like 14 to 16 days for the people to come forth and claim the bodies, and people, I guess, didn't claim the bodies in time. So now because the bodies, they have to dispose of them, you know, some kind of way. So they're label I guess they're labeling them and numbering them and labeling them, put the names on them just in case they have to go back and get somebody, just in case the families come back later and say, okay, well, I want to bury I want to give my loved one a decent burial, and then they have to dig them back up. But right now they gotta go ahead and they have to just, they gotta you can't just because they're running out of freezer space. So that's just something that they have to do. And it's just sad. I've never seen it. I don't know about you guys, but we've never seen anything like this in the United States. You hear about this kind of stuff in other countries, but we've never seen nothing like this in the United States. We've never been faced with a pandemic of this magnitude here in the States. And it's scary. It's like I go to the store. I went to the store the other day, and it's starting. I don't know if we're going to be I don't know if we're looking at a possible food shortage. I don't know. It seems like we might be looking at a possible food shortage because the going to the stores, it's like the shelves it's starting to look really scary in the stores. I mean, the shelves are empty. Some of the shelves are empty, and the Myers store that I typically shop at. Because we got Myers up here in Michigan. Myers, I always at the S on. It's actually Meyer. always add the S on. I think everybody in Michigan does that. You add the S on. It's Meijer. The Meijer store that I shop at here in Michigan. Um, I'm not. It just kind of blew my mind because I'm not used to going in there and seeing empty shelves. I'm used to going in there and seeing them shelves on full. Them shelves used to be on full in that store. I was there when that store opened. Because um, they closed the old store. I was working there when they closed the old store, which was next door. They tore that store down and then built they built the new store, which was next door. And then after they built the new store, they tore the old store down. Well, I was working there during that whole process where they were doing that. So that's the only time I ever seen the shelves, and that's because they were closing the old store. You know, so that's the only time I've seen something like that. And I didn't, and in the new store. You know, so my shelves usually be on full, and so now I go in there and I'm seeing all these empty shelves, and it's really, you know, it's really blowing my mind. I'm like, I hope that we're not facing a possible food store shortage, because I was gonna stock up on my beans, and even though I don't eat a lot of canned vegetables and stuff, I was gonna start stocking up on canned, stuff just good, just in case. And you can't even hardly find no canned goods, or um people buying up all the beans and stuff. So I said, well, let me stock up on my beans just in case, there is a food shortage. Hey, at least we can get our protein, we can get something. um I got one thing of black eyed peas. It's like people buying up all the beans. So it's like it's getting kind of scary in the stores. And I don't know, and there's certain things like me and a friend of mine went out to the stores the other day, and we had our mask on and everything. And it's still certain things that you can't find. Like, it's still like hand sanitizer. I went to the Dollar Tree and I went to Family Dollar, and I asked both of them, you know, when your hand sanitizer is coming in, is it coming in on the next truck or what? They was like, the Dollar Tree said, well, we haven't gotten hand sanitizer in like 3 weeks. So and the Family Dollar said they hadn't been getting it. She was like, well, we hadn't even been getting it in on our truck. So they're not getting hand sanitizer. I'm just working with. I got two things here. I got this Mike and Ike, and I had another one like this that I got at Dollar General around the corner. And I think that's because it wasn't no other hand sanitizers in the store, and I think that was because I lucked up on that because nobody's seen it. I don't think nobody's seen it, so I grabbed it. And then I had this little hand sanitizer I had got from Walgreens a while back ago, and so that's what I'm working with. And I got two little ones that I got from Bath and Body. Them little bitty ones that sell at Bath and Body. That's $1.75. Because everything in that store is expensive. The little pocket bacteria I bought last time I was at Bath and Body. I bought two of those. So I bought two, one for my purse when I go to my meetings, and then I bought one to take to work. So I had two of them. So I got two of those, and I thought I had another one of these. I thought like I had a green one, but I don't know where it's at. And I got this, and I got that I got from Walgreens a while back ago. That's all I'm working with. And I got these little hand sanitizer wipes I use to wipe off my steering wheel and stuff. And I got those at the Dollar General with the hand sanitizer about 4 weeks ago. I ain't seen none in there since. And that's all I got. And they say you can make your own. So if you can find the alcohol, they say they're short of alcohol and stuff. If you can find the ingredients to make your own, if I can find the ingredients to make my own, then I can make my own if I can find the ingredients. So um, that's all I'm working with. I mean, I got to use it sparingly. I have to use it sparingly. You know, a little bit kind of goes a long way, so I got to use it sparingly because you can't find it in any of the stores. You know, and I've been every store I go into, I've been searching, and I have not been able to find hand sanitizer. Now they do have it on Amazon. I was gonna order some on Amazon. It's a little pricey. It's a little pricey on Amazon, but when I get my check, I might have to break down and order some off of there because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to get it. So I don't know if they didn't laid the people off because me and my friend was talking about it the other day. I don't know if they didn't laid the people off that was working at the factory that makes these things or what. So that's I'm trying not to panic because if I'm able to make my own, I'm gonna make my own. But they say that you can't hardly find the stuff to make your own either. So that's all I'm working with. So I gotta you know make do with what I got and just kind of using it sparingly, and that's all I can do. And so push come to shove, I'm gonna put I'm gonna get me a little bottle of water and a little thing of hand soap and some paper towels. And I'm gonna keep it right here in the car, and I'm gonna be washing my hand. I'm gonna be doing my hand washing on the go. Yep. Keep your little thing of paper towel and get your thing of hand soap and some a little bottle water, um, a thing of bottled water or a gallon of water or whatever, and just do your little hand washing. I was just thinking about brainstorming on that, and I'm just do my little hand washing in the car, and just kind of out, go outside, open the door, and then soap up with the hand soap real good, and then pour the water, a little bit of water over my hands, and rinse my hands off. That's your hand washing on the go. So you can do your little hand washing on the go while you're on the go. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. And the way this system is, the way things are going now. So anyway, we just gotta do what we gotta do. I'm just praying that this thing they extended the stay-at-home order. My governor in my state just Governor Whitmore, I think that's her name. She just issued a no traveling from house to house order. So I'm trying to remind people of that. Like in other words, you can't leave your house and I mean I don't know how they're gonna enforce something like that, but like you can't leave your house and then go to somebody else's house. You know, she enforced that order the other day. I don't know how. It's virtually impossible for them to enforce something like that. You know, virtually impossible unless they put a tracking device on you. Well, how they gonna do that? So, but that's what she said. So that's what I was trying to remind my son of, trying to tell my son, trying to give them reminders and things like that. Go figure. They goes through one ear and out the other. But anyway, with that being said, I wanted to talk about the stimulus. They decided that they're going to go ahead and start dropping everybody the stimulus money that I guess I don't know, the other bill they didn't pass. Maybe they was talking about something different, but then they went on and passed the bill, and they're going to go ahead and drop everybody those stimulus payments that they were talking about. Excuse me. So I'm looking forward to getting my little money, but you can't count on it until you see it in your account. I mean, I can't count on it until I see it in my account. So, but I hope when I hope to get it. So when I do get it, I'm gonna be trying to stock up on food and necessities. Pretty much. That's what I'm use a good portion of it to do that. So I'm just gonna be stocking up on food and necessities. It's too bad I can't go shopping because I mean the stores are closed. I can shop online, but the stores are closed. The clothing stores and stuff are closed, so you can't shop for clothes. So yeah, it's sad. The system is sad. But what I was gonna say is, um, what I was gonna talk about, um, give me a minute. I'm so distracted. um, with that being said about the stimulus payments, they said that any fathers that were owing child support, they wasn't gonna be eligible for the stimulus. And I got to thinking about that, and I was like, I don't think that's right. I think they need to go ahead and go on and give it to them. Um, they said they're saying that if you owe back child support, then then you're not eligible for the stimulus. And I think that they should go ahead and give the fathers the stimulus, because this is it's not like it's not that's understandable for them to take the tax refund. Like if they get a tax refund, then that's understandable for them to take the tax refund, because that's money that that they had coming to them from when they were working. Your tax refund is money that you got being refunded to you from when you working, when you paid into it from when you were working. That's a whole different situation. So that's understandable for them to take their taxes. But this stimulus payment is basically what they're giving people that lost their jobs due to the coronavirus situation. They got laid off from their non-essential job, because anybody that was working a non-essential job got laid off. Some people even lost their jobs. And this is the reason why they have to think about the reason why they're giving people this money. It's because, well, I'm even people that are working, such as myself, are getting it. But they saying if your income is under 75,000, then you're gonna get it. And I need it. Even though I'm working, I need it because I'm the only one in my house that's working right now. And we gotta stock up on food and necessities, and I only got so much money to do that. I only got so much money to buy food because I gotta pay bills and rent and stuff. So I need the money. Even though I'm working, I need the money. And we ain't getting no hazard pay. So I need the money. You know what I mean? So, but that's why they're giving people this money, because people that losing their jobs due to this coronavirus, um, that's why they're giving people the money. It's not a tax refund or a gift. They're giving people the money because they lost their jobs. It's a totally different situation. So I think it's kind of cold-hearted if a father was paying child support, and or at least trying to pay it, or they were deducting it from his check. Or maybe he got behind some kind of way. Maybe he got laid off before. He might have got behind. Every man's situation is different. Now, you do have your deadbeats out there. Granted, there are deadbeats out there that, ain't trying to pay it, or they try to dodge the system, or they try to beat the system. But then there's men out there, such as my son, that are going to work every day, and they deducting it out of their paycheck, and if they get laid off or something happens or between jobs, and they get a little behind. Well, I just don't think it's right to take that away, because some of the fathers have lost their jobs. They did lose their jobs in this situation, and then they don't have a job, then they obviously can't pay child support, and they might have happened to be a little bit behind from before. you know Maybe they were trying to pay catch up. And I just don't think it's right to not give them the stimulus, because they need it too. They need it to sustain and buy food and pay bills, and and might be able to throw their kids a little bit of money. You know what I mean? So I just, or at least give them half of it. Give them half of it. Give them $600 of it. And then take and don't, what I'm saying, and take the other $600, give it to the kids, or whatever you want to do with it, or whatever. But at least give them something. Throw them a bone. Give them something. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with the fathers, because you got some fathers out here that are trying to work. They're trying to do the best they can. And they might have gotten behind because they got laid off, or one. The system, the child support system, has got a lot of kinks in it, and it's unfair to a lot of men. Now, you do have your deadbeats out there that legitimately they're thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars behind, and they're not trying to pay or whatever. Now, but you also have your hardworking fathers out there that are really trying to, like my son, that are really trying to take care, and they're helping the mothers in addition to the child support. Like, the mothers getting the child support, but then they're helping to provide for the children in addition to child support, to the child support payments. So they're actually trying to support their kids and take care of their kids, and they might have got a little behind. Life happens. Life happens. They might have got laid off or whatever, and at one time or another, and they got a little behind. But so I don't know. I just don't think it's right to not. I think they should get it. I think they should get it. It's not a tax refund. It's relief. Roll these windows up. It's a little breezy. It's a relief fund. That's what it is. They have to remember why they're giving people this money, and it's to help people sustain and get through this. Because a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people got laid off, and a lot of the fathers got laid off and stuff. And they're legitimately trying to take care of their kids. Not all of them. Just because they're on child support doesn't mean they're all deadbeats because they're on child support. That's the way the system is set up. Up here in Michigan, if you, like I've stated that in other videos. If a mother goes down there, like my children's fathers, I didn't put them on child support. The state put them on child support because when you go down there, me and my oldest son's dad was still together. We were still together when I went down and filed for food stamps and um like back in the 90s, the early 90s when I first got on, they didn't have the work first and all that kind of stuff. They paid your housing, your utilities, they gave you the whole 9 yards back then. Nowadays, you ain't hardly got nothing coming. They telling you need to go look for a job, and we throw you a little food stamps. Um, but back in those days when I first got on it, when my oldest son was a baby, they was paying your rent, they was paying everything back then. The system was set up to basically women could sit at home and then but they gave you the bare minimum. You got the bare minimum. You didn't get you got the bare minimum. It's always been more of a benefit for women to work because you get that big tax income check at the end of the year. But when you're on welfare, you get the bare minimum and you don't get no tax check. So me and my oldest son's dad was still together when I went down there and got on food stamps or whatever because I wasn't working at the time, and I went and got you know my case started, and they automatically put him on child support. So um and my other son's dad, the same thing. I was working and I wasn't on anything, but I did need child care assistance. I didn't qualify for food stamps because I made too much money to qualify for food stamps or anything else. But I needed to, and I think I had insurance through my job at the time, but I needed Medicaid for him. But the only thing I needed was child care assistance. I needed child care assistance, so I went down to apply for child care assistance, and they automatically put him on child support. I didn't put him on child support; they did. So that's just how it's set up. That's just how the system is set up here in Michigan. If the woman go down there and apply for anything, it doesn't make a difference whether it's child care, food stamps, or Medicare, Medicaid, or whatever. It don't make no difference what it is. If she go down there and apply for it, they're gonna automatically put that father on child support unless you say, "Oh, I was raped," or whatever, or I slept with so many men, I don't know who the father is. Then they might let you slide then. But if you tell them you give up, you tell them the name. Of course, I'm gonna tell them the name. I told them the name. Yeah, I did. and they gonna put them on child support. You know, that's just the way the system is set up here in Michigan. You know, because they figure, well, okay, we got to drop X amount of dollars. You gonna kick in and you know, and I think in a sense it ain't no more than right. You know, so but a lot of, but there's a lot of deadbeats in the system, but there's also men that are working hard and they're really trying to support their kids. And the system is not set up fairly for them. It's not set up fairly for the men that are working hard and that are really legitimately trying to take care of their kids. And they might have gotten laid off. You know, life happens. They might have gotten laid off at one time or another, and they got a little bit behind on their child support. I just don't think it's fair to not give them the stimulus because they need it too. You know. Anyway, this video is gonna be a little bit long. Um, but I also wanted to talk about the prisoner, the men that's in jail, um, the men that's in prison. Um, the coronavirus cases are growing in the prisons, and a lot of prison inmates are dying. Um, and I think the government doesn't care because a lot of people in the government they're going to be, as far as getting help and getting aid, they're going to be the last on the list because I don't honestly think that the government doesn't care because they're sitting there in prison and they think this they don't care because they're in prison. But just because someone's in prison doesn't mean they deserve to die. You got a lot of men. Everybody know that there's a really statistically there's a high number of black men that are in prison. And they're in there for different reasons. Not everybody is killers. Not everybody is child molesters. You got black men in there. They are for there. Is some of them in there for weed charges. I say weed is legal in a lot of states. Let them go. You know they done made weed legal in a lot of states. They made weed legal here up here in Michigan. Well, it don't make no sense to hold somebody in jail for no weed charges if you didn't made it legal. Go ahead and let them go. But we all know how the system is set up. We all know how us black people. We all know how the system is set up, and we know that's how the system is set up. You know, because we got statistically, black men have the highest incarceration rate here in the United States, statistically. And some of them are there for drug charges, non-violent offenses. A lot of them are in there for non-violent stuff. And some of them are even there for things that they didn't even do. You got some men that was accused of something, mistaken, false, they identity. Somebody that looked like them committed a crime and then they got arrested for it. You got some of them in there that's in there for that reason. And then you got some of them in there that is in there for stuff that they didn't even do, you know? And you got some of them that is in there for maybe I might call a drug case or something like that. They were young. You know, everybody makes mistakes. This one guy did a little video from prison. He managed to get a hold of a cell phone and he did a little video and he said that he didn't have that much time, like a year or something like that into his sentence, and he was going to get released. And he's like, I really don't want to die in prison of this thing, you know? And so you got a lot of people, you got men that's getting ready to get released. Now I heard that they was releasing some states they were releasing guys. But I mean, well, you don't want to put violent people out there on the streets. I mean, you don't want to put, you know, sex offenders and killers out. You don't want to just put them out on the street. But non-violent, like people that's in there for drugs or maybe robbery, or which, I don't like no thieves, but non-violent. They didn't kill. In other words, they didn't kill somebody. They didn't kill anybody, but they committed a crime. Maybe, I don't know. Let them out. I don't know. But I just think that just because they're sitting in prison doesn't mean they deserve to die. And I just think it's this perception that they're in prison so they don't matter. And that's not true, because at the end of the day, everybody makes mistakes. And some black men are in there for things that they didn't even do. And that doesn't mean just because they're sitting in prison, they deserve to die. So they're going to be last on the list to get any help. So I just think that, and the numbers are going up, and they can't social distance, and they can't. It's hard for them to social distance in a prison. So I just think that and everybody know that healthcare is crappy in the prisons, so they're not gonna get the ventilators and things that they need, and so there's the death rates are growing of coronavirus in the prisons. So I don't know. I just I just think that just because they're in prison doesn't mean they deserve to die, and they need to get the assistance, like everybody else. But I think that they're gonna be last. Unfortunately, they're gonna be last on the list. I mean, just imagine if you have a son or you have a loved one that's in prison, and because they made a mistake and they're just trying to serve out their time, and this thing is going around, and they saying family members can't get in to talk to them, and they can't. They shut the visiting down, so they can't visit them. So just imagine what these family members are going through if they got loved ones in there. So I don't know. And they said that the death rates among African Americans, black people, are going up. And that's a whole nother video. I'm going to actually talk about that in a whole nother video, because it's a lot I want to go into, a lot more that I want to go into about that. So I'm going to actually cover that. I'm going to discuss that in another video. But yeah, I'm going to go into in that, so stay tuned. So anyway, with that being said, um, I'm gonna get ready to go grab me something to eat and get ready for work. You guys stay safe. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the stimulus payments. Men owing back child support. Do you think that they should get the stimulus? Hit me up in the comment section. Sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think about that. What do you think about the prisoners in the coronavirus? Do you think that that's you know what are your thoughts on that? Share the thoughts on that. So hit me in the comment section. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know how's your quarantining situation going? How's your anxiety level going? Um, you know, hit me up. Just let me know. Let me know what's going on with you. Hit me up in the comment section. Okay, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Share this video. I got some more interesting video topics coming up. Peace and love. This is Sweet June.